All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shem Shai, by Sharon Kakodash. Double honors to the apostle of this great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, it's looking like the worst case scenario with this food, man. You know, I had this. It was queued up a few days ago. Just going through my notes, and my photos, of course. And I just take certain pictures and do certain lessons to hit certain points. So just mental notes. I make mental notes from these photos. And with this photo, it says, "We are at crisis point. Major food group warns of worst food shortage in 75 years." I've already did a lesson on in which, the apostles and plenty of individuals, speaking about how the times that we're living in is compared to the Great Depression, man. All right. It's finna get bad. Your essentials, which the scriptures, matter of fact, I'm going to get that. The scriptures speak about the chief things of life. The chief things of life are going to start to be removed from the face of the earth. I was just now going to do a lesson, Lord willing, after this one, on the salmon boil over. There's so much heat that's going on in Canada that the salmon are basically boiling alive within the water banks. Which is what is going to be a significant cut to your fish. Your poultry is going to be cut. Your beef, your dairy, produce. All right. A lot of these foods that you could conveniently just go to your supermarket that's 1.7, 3.5 miles, 4 miles away, it's going to be hard to get to. And even when you go into these supermarkets, what they're going to start doing is these supermarkets is they're going to start rationing out. All right. Portion controlling. I'm trying to find the scriptures where it speaks about fire, salt. I know it's in Sirach around the 30th chapter, but maybe the 38th. I'm trying to multitask, bear with me. But all your essential items is going to be extremely hard for you to get your hands on them, man. And are we pressed about that? Are we his brothers' anxiety going up and things of that nature because we see food shortages in these different local supermarkets and things of that nature? Hell no. Why? Because the scripture says that we're going to eat. And we understand the dynamics of what the scriptures laid out for what for Babylon. Babylon has a lot in store, and we know that the scriptures speak about the famine. It speaks about the pestilence. It speaks about, riots and basically wars and rumors of wars. All these things that's written in the scriptures are supposed to give us comfort. So a lot of people see food shortages and they go on a tangent and they basically, go in a frenzy and get extremely scared. We get comforted when we see these things because we understand the end times and end time prophecy. These things have to be, and the Lord said that he's going to, protect a said few, and that said few is the elect, from the coming destruction, from the coming famine, from the coming pestilence, and that's why we have to have full faith in Yahweh Shem Shai. It's belief, Some of us brothers only making so much money an hour, 12, 13, 15, up to 19, maybe, from hey, we know all Jakes from 16,000 to 80,000, around that range, and that's households, that's not truly enough to actually, sustain. Most people that's making $80,000, $90,000 a year is working paycheck to paycheck, so we don't have 4 or 5, 6, 10 years of food supply just tucked away in underground bunkers like these upper echelons, Edomites and other nations. We're living literally off of our daily bread. All right. But we still trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, and we're not letting these times move us. All right. The Lord is stirring up a peculiar cup for the wicked of his people, and the wicked being these other nations to drink of. Everybody else that the Lord is going to keep and preserve, they're going to be satisfied in that day. And I'm going to get that in Isaiah. But this is Sirach 39 and 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. Right. So the scriptures speak about chief things, which are the most important things. When you have water, you got fire, iron, salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, blood of grape, oil, and clothing. You have essential items that you could build upon. All right. You can do a lot with those items, synchronizing them together, you know. And when you lack key items, you know, it does something to your mental when you don't have the food supply that you ought to have, when you can't have access to like I said, water. You look at Flint and you look at these different areas where Jake is basically in a sense of suffering, not even having proper water, water to consume. That throws off the brain of the common person, man. I think a brother had posted how your brain actually shrinks when you are malnourished, and you go crazy. So we know that the prophecy spoke of in the book of Matthew that the love of many shall wax cold, which that waxing cold deals with people going psycho, turning into true life psychopaths. All right. So when these people don't have their we ain't even talking about fast, because these people live and thrive off of fast food. When they're not having their McDonald's is closed down. They can't ride to their Burger King. Some of these people, and I seen this video, some of these people go crazy off of not having their orders on time. They'll punch out the manager. They'll go behind the counter and fight a whole staff and get the shit jumped out of them, or they'll get to beating immense amount of ass because their Whopper with fries is 3 minute 3 to 4 minute delayed from his usual time. How much more weeks on end and all your fast food chains are shut down? Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, Subway. These people live, thrive, and they're addicted by this fast food, this grease. All right, these starchy fries, sweets, cakes, cookies at your local convenience store, your sweet drinks, cereal, your pop. These people are heavily addicted to this stuff. And it's not like, these things being pulled away, they're just gonna go back to being normal and they could just live and thrive without it. No, these people are gonna go fucking insane, man. Especially when social media gets clipped, which we believe is gonna be an actual cutoff on a lot of these electrical devices, the EMP. We believe that in the spirit. But if all these things compounding and comes together, that's a recipe for the disaster of 90, 95, 99% of the people. A lot of people don't know how to live off the grid. A lot of people don't know how to live without social media. A lot of people don't know how to actually navigate and move around without an actual device telling them where to go. So we're in some heavy times. Isaiah 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Right. So the Lord said that his servants are going to eat, drink, rejoice. So what's the point of tripping? A lot of these people that's not in the spirit of the Lord, that haven't took this word serious, they haven't, took heed unto the testimonies of the elders and the apostles and brothers, the priests and the bishops and things of that nature, from the different camps and regions. A lot of people batted the hand. They stopped the ears from hearing. They wagged their hand. They stuck out their mouths. And they're gonna have to eat that. Have to eat those words. Scripture speak about every idle word that people say. They're gonna have to take account for. So Jake has to take accountability, which a lot of our people do not take accountability. They're not gonna have no choice but to take accountability for the actions that they put out. Like I said, when your food supply is cut, all right, and the Lord is not protecting you, the Lord doesn't have that protectionary hedge to direct you and keep you at bay, before the deliverance. And a lot of these niggas not getting delivered anyways. If they getting delivered to anything, it tells you that in the book of Isaiah, the 15th chapter. If I'm not mistaken, or Jeremiah, where it speaks about delivering them to the sword, delivering them to wrath, delivering them to judgment. Yeah, it's gonna be a deliverance for our people. They're gonna get delivered. 2/3 gonna get delivered, but they're gonna get delivered, to a harsher ass whooping. Like I said, in the book of Amos, if a man fled from a bear and a serpent bit him. All right, Jeremiah 15:2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. Right. So a lot of the captivity represents Jake being thrown and hauled in these prison centers. All right. Famine, lack of food, food supply shortage where you got to starve to death. It tells you that in the book of Lamentations also, how, starving to death is the worst type of death there is. Your body literally eats away at itself, and then it speaks about the sword and death. So, I didn't want to make this too long. Just wanted to speak on that. This, like speak about the food shortage and that image I just had, worse than 75 years, is going to only get worse. So hopefully brothers will edify. Ended by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Shah, Shema, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostle, elders, a great millstone. Shalom, Makim.